Hello, people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of the Unity Project, I guess. Normally, when I'm making a YouTube video, it is called Coffee Chats with Jax, but I have transitioned to the Unity Project, so that was a whole adjustment just now. But anyway, you guys, I said at the end of last year / kind of beginning of this year that I wasn't going to make YouTube videos anymore, but I was going to just do podcasts, and that's half true. That's half true. As my therapist likes to say, I withhold the permission to change my mind. And all that being said, I really miss making videos. I miss getting a chance to kind of just rant for a minute, which I might try to make a way to do that in podcasts, I guess, which is why I'm recording with this mic right here. I don't know what is in the future for that. But for now, I'm probably going to make anywhere from like 1 to 2 videos a month, maybe. Anyway, all that being said, there have been a few things happening lately that I really feel the need to talk about. The first thing that I really want to talk about that has been bugging me a lot for very personal reasons is kind of what happens when you go from being very involved in Christian world to, as some people call it, deconstructing that because of any reason you've been hurt by the church or you just learned things that you feel like make you question other things, or maybe it involves coming out. For me, I have a very long kind of domino effect story with my journey of leaving the church. And that's not a story I'm going to share in this video, but I do want to talk about what happens when you come out as any form of queer, anything in the LGBTQ community. My personal story is that I came out as bisexual. And when I did come out, I was still very, very in with the idea of I'm going to be a Christian still and I'm going to go to church still. And that being said, the journey of that looked very scary and very rocky, and it involved a lot of work that I had to do. It was scary because at the time, I felt like my whole entire salvation depended on it. Like I based my whole entire life on this religion, this faith, this whole thing. I'm not here to say that religion and faith and whatnot is wrong, or if you have a religion that you practice or feel close to, whether it's Christianity or something else. That's not what this video is. I'm just trying to share my story with it. I just want to explain the fact that when you are someone who personally is queer, the work that you do to look into Christianity and to pull apart the verses that people use to condemn homosexuality, I'm using air quotes in case this is just on the podcast and not the video. All those verses and stuff, I just want to make it really clear that no one has done more work to unpack and pull those apart than queer people. Because given from personal experience, at the time of my unpacking, I felt like my whole entire salvation, my whole entire world depended on it. I was so afraid that I was going to be sent to hell for a part of who I am that of course I did the work. I tried to learn Hebrew. I did every single thing that I could try to do, pulling this apart and learning what's true. I believe a lot of different things today than I did about 1.5 years ago, 2 years, however long it's been since I started that process. But the beautiful thing about that is that changes every single day. Every day I learn things and unlearn things. Every day I become and I unbecome. Every day I learn a little bit more about what it is I believe and why. But I want to make this video to just say that if you come across someone that is queer and you disagree with them, say for religious reasons, it doesn't make a lot of sense for you to argue with them when the only work that you've done is reading a Bible verse that seems to condemn it based on the most recent translations, based on the politicals, agendas, and I'm not even going to get into all that. But for you to just decide this verse is true, they are wrong, I'm just going to show them this verse, and not assume that the queer person has not unpacked and worked through that verse and all the other ones over and over and over again to find out what feels true, to find out what happened. If you think this is the first time that they're seeing that verse, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And I just want to make that very clear, that no one has done more work than the person who believes their salvation depends on it. I also want to mention in this video that when people compare, I guess, being queer to other, as they say, sins, or as they say, disagreements, controversies, like, for example, if someone compares being queer to murder, or a better example that was used recently is if someone compares being queer to drinking, like saying it's the same thing as a disagreement of some people think drinking is okay, or some Christians think drinking is okay and some don't. That's not the same thing. That's literally the difference of someone's whole entire humanity. Like, you disagreeing out of my humanity is legitimate and matters. If who I am as a person is acceptable, is lovable, is worthy, is no less than you. The disagreement of that is very different than someone agreeing or disagreeing if alcohol is okay. Someone's drink preference. It's a completely different thing. And it's really hurtful when people use examples like that to try to justify it. The kindest you can be in some kind of disagreement or some kind of conversation about this, if a queer person comes to you, is just giving them clarity. Don't beat around the bush. Don't just try to love them, but hide that you're disagreeing with them. Like, don't make them wonder if you're a safe person or if it's a safe place around you to be. Just tell them if it is or if it isn't. It's becoming really clear to me that those that don't go straight to the point to tell them it's safe and to tell them why are unsafe. Clarity is kindness, and disagreeing about whether or not my humanity is accepted and morally good and okay and no less than yours, that's a really, really big deal. Ex-Christian queers or even current Christian queers have done a lot of work. You should actually probably ask them some questions. You could probably learn a lot. There's a lot of really, really intellectual, wise queer theologians out there that are theologians because at a time in their life they felt like their whole entire salvation depended on it. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to listen to my podcast, then I will put a link for that in the description below. It's called The Unity Project. If you want to check out my other YouTube videos, go to youtube.com/JackieGTV. If you want to read my book, Finding Home, go to JackieGronlin.com. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you later.